It's good to be here today on Valentine's Day talking about jobs and economic development. You know, when we think of the Marcellus Shale, we all know that it's the biggest natural gas play in the history of Pennsylvania. And we're excited about the economic prospects of it. But we're also all very concerned about the environment. I think it's fair to say that all of us, and when I say us, I mean not only the public, but also the gas companies and the service companies working in the industry are concerned about it. And we're here today for two reasons. First of all is to let the public know, and the gas industry in particular, about probably the most significant regulations and changes in regulations for the oil and gas wells in 22 years. And it's secondarily, and very important, is to let the gas industry know about a resource right here in Williamsport that can assist them with these regulations. Some of you may know that on February 5th, the Environmental Quality Board issued new regulations regarding oil and gas drilling. And specifically, the board amended 6 sections, I should say they added 6 sections and amended 20 sections of Chapter 78. Chapter 78 is the regulation entitled Oil and Gas Wells. And I want to quote from Title 25 from the amendment, because I think that the Quality Control Board put it very clearly in what they were saying. By the way, we have a copy for the press of these regulations for you. I just want to quote here from them. Properly constructed and operated oil and gas wells are critical to protecting water supplies and public safety. If a well is not properly cased and cemented, natural gas and subsurface formations may potentially migrate from the wellbore through bedrock and soil. This stray gas may adversely affect water supplies as well as accumulate in or adjacent to structures such as residences and water wells. Under certain conditions, stray gas has the potential to cause a fire or explosion. These situations present a serious threat to public health and safety as well as the environment. The purpose of this final form rulemaking is to improve drilling, casing, cement testing, monitoring, and plugging requirements for oil and gas wells to minimize gas migration and protect water supplies. Close quote. So you can see these are very, very significant regulations. And, you know, I mentioned to you that the second reason we were here today was to try to let the oil and gas industry and the public know how a company right here in Williamsport is able to assist with understanding these rules and regulations. You know, normally when we think of jobs in the oil and gas industry, we think of drilling and we think of service jobs. I don't think we often think of the internet. Well, in fact, here in Williamsport, we have an internet company that specializes in regulatory compliance. And I'm glad to be here this morning with Mr. Ertl to bring to your attention this company and to get the oil and gas industry to understand how this company here in Williamsport can help them to understand and to follow compliance with these regulations. RegScan has been in existence here in Williamsport for 22 years, has 24 employees, and what we hope and are excited about is that as the gas industry develops, that additional employees will be able to be hired as a result of the expansion of the oil and gas industry. I'm going to let Mr. Ertl talk specifically about RegScan, but I want the gas industry to know about a product that they have called Checkpoint Pennsylvania Audit Protocols. And this product is an example, and I think it's important for us to realize that even small companies in central Pennsylvania are sometimes leading the forefront. And as far as you know, this is the only company in the country.
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, the only company in the country that actually is working with these rules and regulations. These protocols are designed to help companies basically to make sure that they're in compliance with the environmental regulations. And again, it's a way that our citizens can benefit from jobs in a way that many of us don't often think of in the oil and gas industry, on the internet. Ned, let me let you talk a little bit about them.
I would like to thank everybody for coming today. I'd like to thank Representative Rivera for being here as well. We are launching today with the Checkpoint Audit Protocols, and I apologize for my of all days to get it. The checkpoint audit protocols consist of about 1,000 questions, and basically what we've done is we've taken the rules and regulations here in Pennsylvania and made them so that you can go into a facility, an oil well, and audit it to make sure it's in compliance with federal, state regulations on this topic. These final rules that Rick just spoke about came into effect on February 5th for all new wells being drilled. And it quadrupled the size of the oil and gas section of these protocols from 30 questions to 120. It's a massive, massive redo of the regulations. They are now incorporated into our system, and I want to thank everybody on our team that put them in under 5 business days. So we are launching them today. We're the only company in the country that is addressing these regulations. And it will help these companies not only understand what the regulations are, they can go conduct an audit of these facilities, and then they can do corrective action tracking if they want to as well, to make sure that if there is a non-compliance finding, they can make sure that they're corrected. It really helps the companies comply, it helps the citizens of the Commonwealth make sure that the environment's being protected, and also assist business in conducting good operations and streamlines the process. We have taken all these protocols and we've also linked them to our regulatory databases so that they can go see the full text of the actual regulations themselves. So it gives you a complete compliance picture and makes it very easy for these drilling companies to not only assess their own compliance but make sure they stay in compliance.
So you can see this is a very exciting opportunity, not only for the industry, but for our residents in Pennsylvania. So often we know that one of the problems we've had is our young people have had to leave the area because there was not the diversity of jobs. There were not the diversity of jobs that oftentimes would allow people with different interests to stay. This is one small step in terms of the further development of an internet company that's been here for a while. One small but very important step in trying to expand employment here in central Pennsylvania, specifically in Williamsport, for people with an interest in this area. I think we'd be happy to take any questions that you have.
So how do you access this? Is this on the internet now, or?
It's on the internet. Most of the people, almost all of our clients come in through the internet, and they can download the questions if they want to in Excel, because a lot of these facilities, oil and gas facilities, don't have internet access. So typically what they'll do is create a checklist at their office, and then when they go out to a drilling site, they'll have it in Excel on their laptop.
So this is something for gas companies and citizens to access then, right?
Citizens could do it as well if they wanted to, but it's typically we're a B2B internet company. We deal mainly with Fortune 500 companies.
What prompted something like this? Was it like public outcry or concern in the environment, or what kind of prompted you guys to put this together?
We acquired the Checkpoint name about 6 months ago from a company in Houston. That Checkpoint was originally founded by 6 oil and gas companies because they had a hard time assessing whether they were in compliance with the regulations. So they sat around the table and designed the system. And we bought that product from a consultant who formed it. And we designed it, since we're in Pennsylvania, to take it out of just the Texas-centric and design a system for here in PA for the Marcellus Shale. So that's what we felt like it was a good thing for our local folks, as well as good for the environment.
Yeah, I think it's important for you to understand that this is specifically for Pennsylvania, and that's one of the things that makes it very unique, and that's one of the reasons we're trying to draw attention to the gas industry here in Pennsylvania. If you take a look, to answer your question further, this is an extensive list of regulations that the industry is required to follow. And a lot of these came in response to concerns that the public had, and also in the rulemaking itself. It says, quote, the final form rulemaking differs from the proposed rulemaking in several important aspects. And then just to paraphrase, it says that they reflect concerns raised by the regulated community and the public. So in other words, these regulations reflect not only the concerns of the public, but also the concerns of the industry in terms of being able to make sure they meet the regulations. What's important about this company and for our citizens to know is that this is yet one more opportunity to try to develop a job base and expand and make services available that emanate from Pennsylvania for the people of Pennsylvania. I think it's significant that it was purchased from a Texas company. You know, we know that a lot of the reason many of the companies are coming here is because things have definitely slowed down in Texas. So we want to make sure that we get all the benefits of the Marcellus shale for the people who live in Pennsylvania, not only in terms of the natural gas, but in terms of jobs, whether they're internet jobs or service jobs.
Approximately how many jobs do you think this might open up and create?
Well, we're hoping in 3 to 4, I would say, in the short term, but in the long term, we're not quite sure.
Some of it depends also on, I would imagine, how the industry develops here.
Yes.
You know, how many wells are drilled and obviously how much of that industry develops. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate it. And there's a copy of the rulemaking. My Chief of Staff, Tanya Anderson, has a copy of that.